Hi everyone. Today we're gonna just go over what we've learned throughout the few lessons that we've done since the beginning of the year. So those lessons were, if I bring back, are text, extrude, patterns, both rectangular and circular, loft, and fillet. So what we're going to do is first, as always, I'm not actually, by the way, I'm not going to do a lot of explanations in this video because you should be able to understand how I use all these different tools. So first thing we always do, create a sketch, keep going. You guys know what to do here. So I'm gonna use the circle feature. So we're gonna be making basically like rim but car tire, similar to that. So I'm gonna go 24 inches, which is 2 feet. So I'm gonna zoom out. All right, finish the sketch. All right, next thing, extrude and round. Let's see if it can. Let's see, I would say 12 inches should be good. Okay, so this is like your basic shape of your car tire, right? Next thing we're gonna go into a few more, I guess, specifics. So let's create a new sketch on the plane. We already know how to do that. Click circle, click face, sketch, and I'm gonna create another circle. Much smaller, more like where the spokes of the car tire will go out from. So I want this to be, I don't know, 3 inches. Sure, 3 inches looks good. Next we're gonna go with the line tool. I don't know if I went over this, but I will right now. When you go on something, it'll turn into an axe. That's when you like hover over an object, it'll turn into an axe, meaning it's going to be tangent to that surface or connected to that. That's what I want to do here. So 90 degrees straight up, and the other one 90 degrees straight up. Well, 180 technically, but yeah. All right. So let us actually draw another circle from the center out. Oh, that was not 24 inches. Okay. Center. Oh, you could just type in 24, but I'm just going to go to the outside. It makes it easier. And we haven't went over this tool for sure. Trim tool is basically a tool that you use to cut lines and 2D objects that you do not need. So that's what I'm doing here. I want to trim this outside circle. So it's going to trim all of the what's highlighted in red and leave this the blue part. I don't know if it's that clear, but it's like highlight. It's like bold blue. So that's what the trim feature does. So escape. I think I did it. No, I did not do it. Okay, trim. Click the outside, and if we escape, we can see that there's no longer a blue line there. It's just up here. Okay, now we're gonna do some minor dimensioning per se. Oh, wait, actually 1.25 is what I want it to be at. And I'm going to draw a center line so we can have this fully dimension. This will be construction, and we all remember how to do construction lines. Click line X, construction line. Okay, now I'm going to dimension again to the center line, so both sides are equidistant from the center. My goodness, what is 4.25 rather, that's it. 0.65. Okay, there we go. I'm going to zoom in to see if this is connected. Perfect. Oh, right, this was the circle that I did not want. There we go. All right. Now, to make sure that these are like smooth, I'm going to go over to the Fillet Tool. Fillet Tool is available. I don't think we went over this for 2D objects. So for sketches, Fillet Tool is both available for the 2D and 3D, and it works the exact same way. So it doesn't, I didn't really need to go over. It's not letting me. Okay, so what I will do, tangent, select those. Ah, that's what it does. Okay, doesn't want me to do it. All right, these two are connected anyway, as we can see. Doesn't really matter. All right, so next thing I'm gonna go over to pattern. Pattern, if you remember, basically makes our work so much easier by just patterning the sketch in a circle or a rectangle. So what we do, select the entities that we want to pattern, which would be this side, and this top arc right there. So those are the ones that we want to pattern. Center point, we're going to select the exact center of the circle, and we could do 3, but 3 is not great. I don't 3. So we're going to 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And actually, I'll go to 10. Actually, 8 is cool. No. How was it 8? I'll go with 6. Alright. 6 it is. Alright, so here's basically what you should have. When you hover over each of these, they should highlight, meaning that they're all connected. If they're not all connected, most likely it's going to be right here, or your top isn't going to be connected right here. So go over that if it's not. And everything else is dimensioned as we dimensioned this. And we don't need this to be black because this is technically not tangent to this line here, but it's still connected. So that's why this isn't black if you were wondering why it's not fully constrained. All right, I'm gonna finish the sketch. Oh, I actually forgot to do something. All right, Command Z to go back, or Control Z on Windows. All right, so circle again. Select center point. Go about 20 inches and trim. Trim everything that you don't need. So that would be, actually, yes, we do need that. We do not need this. The top was just for reference, by the way. That's what I did. The top 4. This. As you can see, it's cutting everything away. This is probably the best way to see how the trim tool works. It just cuts everything that I don't need away, making the sketch cleaner and more organized. Trim tool is pretty self-explanatory. All right, finish the sketch. Now we can extrude these, because as you know, a car rim does not have very, very thick spokes. It has pretty thin spokes. So I don't know if we went over this again, but when you want to cut through everything, you can go over to the extrude panel over here, go to extent type, and through all. And it should say cut at the bottom. Oh, okay, this arrow is facing the wrong direction. Oh well, I'm just gonna drag it. But you could do through all, extent type through all. But you can drag it too. Both works, doesn't really matter. Okay, there you go, car tire. But as you remember, we can go to this sketches, the browser here, go under sketches, click the drop down arrow, and make visible our sketch that we want to use. I want to reuse this sketch, so I made it visible. All right, now I'm gonna click this new sketch. I didn't need to, I could go back into the original sketch, but I want to keep everything more organized and spread out. That's why I have this up this. All right, So, if you remember from our very first lesson, we used this thing called text to type our name out. So, we're going to go over and we're just going to place a random point, doesn't even matter where. Just, and like draw a box because if you remember, we can dimension everything later. All right, I'm just going to type, um, I don't know, some car name or my initials, I guess. I'll just type my initials, make it my car brand. Okay, so if you remember, alignment right here, font if you remember, and I want to bold all this. Whoops. Yeah, bold. I don't even know what font to use. No, that's a bad font. Anyway, okay, I like that better. All right, alignment, choose font, height, and let's make it 0.5. Come on. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Okay, adjusted the height. 0.5. I want the height to be 0.5. You can do whatever you want, or you can go back in and edit it. I don't actually like that as much. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so this is what we have after positioning everything. All I did was, because I think I made this a square, but I'll just double check. All I did was drag this up. You can do that, just let me show you. You can just hold, drag, and it's not working. Okay, that's because I already positioned it in the center, but if it's not positioned, then you can hold and drag. Or you can just dimension it, which is probably the easiest way. So, oh, I was so close. Let's make it 1 inch, just to be rounded. And this was 1.01, so it was pretty close to a square. And I can dimension to the outside of the circle first. I should, if we remember, if we want to reuse existing geometry or sketch geometry, what do? We project. And as a reminder, hit P on your keyboard, click the entity that you want to project, and project it. There we go, purple, projected. All right, now I'm going to dimension to the edge of the circle. Let me just, as we know, circles have the same radius as at every point, so it doesn't really matter what point you dimension to. Okay, apparently it's fully dimensioned. It's really weird, but oh, because I put it in the center, right? If you didn't put it in the center, then you would need to dimension to the edge of the circle and do the projecting thing that I did. My bad. Okay, finish sketch. All right. So, as you can see, my initials, or whatever letters you typed in, as long as it's school appropriate, is in here. So, if you remember what we did, we extruded the letters. This one, as you know, cars don't have that much extrusion of the hubcap, or not hubcap. Oh my goodness, I forgot what they're called. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Those. So I'm just going to do 0.1 and you'll see what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to go back into sketch 3. I'm going to reuse this sketch. And what I'm going to do, actually no, I could just do this. Zoom in again. All right. I could just make sketch 3 visible and I hope this works. Yes. No, it does not. Okay. Well, then I'm going to go back into sketch 3 and literally trace this over if I wanted to, but I don't want to because it's going to take too much time and that's a waste of time and I don't want to do that. So what I will do, I'll turn this sketch off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fillet all these edges down, and the fastest way to do that, I don't know if this is going to work, it doesn't work with everything, is called a rule fillet or fillet. You literally specify that And come on. Oh, come on. Okay. It's not going to. So I will go into another fillet type. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. So we're just gonna go like this, and we're gonna select all the edges. Pain, but it's okay. Select all the edges to make it smooth. If you remember, that's what fillet does. Makes everything smooth and nice and neat, and yeah. So we're gonna choose all these edges. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I'm gonna do, oh my goodness. Okay, zoom in. There we go. All the edges on the D are chosen. Now I need to choose the J. These are a lot. Okay, usually there's this thing called rule fillet, which will fillet everything at once. Sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know if that's a bug in the software. It depends on the type of object. Sometimes the type of object is the same and the rule fillet doesn't save or it doesn't work. So not my favorite feature. And usually when you do it, it kind of slows down your computer and Fusion 360 a lot, and it takes forever to load. So not my favorite, but less work. Let's do 0.1. Oh wait, 0.1 is too big, right? So we extruded 0.1, so it must be too big. If it doesn't fillet, I'm literally gonna leave it as it is. Okay, it's barely. Oh, it's flying a little bit, but that is okay. Oh, I should have taught you something. And I'm gonna go back into the fillet command. So we're gonna go here and let's see. Okay, everything's set. All right, if you want, you can like click all these side edges and fillet the inside to make it really, really neat, but I don't want to do that. So yeah. All right, so that's the center of our spoke. This is really, really basic. More advanced stuff is too hard. So this is our basic spoke, right? However, as you know, every rim has like a center for tubes. So we're gonna do that. And you definitely do not know this yet because I have not taught you, but you do know how to create a plane. So a plane, if you recall, you can click any face and it'll create a plane. Always go with offset plane, go to construct, offset plane. All right. So now, but in this case, I don't want to use an offset plane. Offset plane would work, but I do not want to use it. I want to use this thing called midplane. What this does is if I select that and I select the other side, it creates a plane in the middle. Less work, I don't have to take any measurements. So much easier. So that's how you make a midplane. Also, I'm gonna turn the sketch off. There we go. That's how you make a midplane. Okay. Next, we will click this plane and create a sketch on it. As you can see, it's in the center, as you can see, because like the grid lines don't go over the object, so it's in the center, but we can't go to the center. If we want to go to the center, go to the sketch palette over here. There's this thing called slice or slice graphics. So what it does, it'll basically split the object so you can work on the inside of the object, but also viewing the main body of the object. You'll see what I do. When I click slice, it slices this exact object in half. I go. So you can see, sliced it in half. It sliced it to where I set my work plane. As you can see, now I can see my sketches that I've made, not my sketches, my body right here. and everything in the everything that's composing the body, so I can work on this body, but from the center. All right, so let's go back to front and let's create a sketch. Center diameter circle. We're gonna go out, and it's about half. So if you take this, we know that this was 20 inches from what we've previously done, or we could always go over here, measure tool, measure everything. But I remember 20 inches here, 24 inches here, meaning this circle has to have a diameter of 22 inches, which is a midpoint between 20 and 24. And as you can see, 22 inches. All right, dimension that's 22. And we've got something here. But the next thing we have to do is actually either project this, but I don't like that because, well, either project this circle or create an entirely new circle. I don't like project. Reason is sometimes software is buggy and it will not register. The project won't register. I don't know if this problem has been solved yet. I know it wasn't working when I was doing this over summer and stuff, so yeah. So all I will do is go into here and create another center diameter circle to the outside. Don't need this to be dimensioned because we're just making it on top of the other circle. All right, finish sketch. You can't see it, but if you click the extrude tool, it'll let you click the sketch. If you can click the sketch, then it'll extrude it in whatever direction you want. We're gonna learn something new here too. Direction. Symmetric. And if everyone knows what symmetry is, it means something is the same on both sides. So whatever we drag on this side happens on the other side. Wow, amazing. Okay, anyway, if I recall, I extruded the wheel by 12 inches. So this means 6 inches in both directions. As you can see, specified distance to extrude. This distance is only in one direction, unless you did whole length distance in the measurement under the extrude palette. Then the entire distance would be 6 inches. But at the moment, it's 6 inches on either side. I like either side. Sometimes we'll use whole length. Whole length will mostly be used when there's odd numbers and fractions and larger assemblies involved, but this is pretty small. So 6 inches on both sides, that means you just literally cut the entire top of the wheel. We don't want that. I want to go 5. And I want to cut, no taper, distance is 5 inches on either side, so 10 inches whole length. If you were doing a whole length, then you would do 10 inches. All right, now you see that, but the inside is usually not this sharp on a rim. So we're gonna go into the fillet tool, and what we're gonna do is select this. What this does basically makes the inside smooth. It adds some volume and material to the object. So I'm just gonna use the arrow to measure what I want. 1.5 looks nice. I like that. All right. 1.5. Okay. That is it. We may be creating a tire for this rim later on. So I want everyone to save this. So just Control S. You're gonna save it to the Fusion 360 cloud, so if you log in on any laptop or any device, it will be saved. So I'm gonna call this wheel rim, and I'm gonna save it to my admin project. Save wheel rim version 0. If I make an edit and I save it again, version 1. That's how it works in Fusion 360. All right, that was a recap. If you need any help or any review, look at the other videos or ask me during the meeting. That's it.